Hello, welcome to another edition of the Independent Creator Podcast. I'm humble host Josh, and we got something a little bit different. Closing out the year, it's going to be Christmas time here in a couple weeks. Or if you're watching or listening to this episode later date, happy Christmas, happy holidays, whatever you want. But we're going to be going over a couple things to, the gift giving guide or holiday season wish list that content creators and or family members or significant others of content creators, what they might be looking for. And this is what we're going to be looking at tonight, is actually a different hardware, software ideas and stuff, what to look for, the cheap stuff, and then if you have a spare no expense account, the more expensive stuff. So let's actually get into the episode here. So what it is with any kind of holiday season is kind of like looking at what you are looking for as a content creator. If you yourself is looking for, or if you know someone that is a content creator and they might need some little bit of help to up their game, so to speak. Well, one thing that a lot of us constantly harp on about is your audio. Now, having good audio is pretty important because it kind of, that's over half of what being a content creator is all about, speaking into a microphone and getting whatever you want to talk about out there to the masses or to your community. Now, microphones are a dime a dozen, pretty much. There is I'm not going to say dime a dozen, but they're pretty much range the gamut of all different kinds of likes and shapes and sizes and price ranges and stuff like that. But majority of it is actually pretty affordable for a great majority of people out there. And I'm not going to look at, like the microphone I use is a Beacon mic. This is like a $300 mic. You can have a perfectly decent sounding microphone that is around $30 to $40. And it's a USB mic. So as long as you have an open USB mic, a USB port on your computer, you can actually, have a good sounding production without spending a lot of money on everything else. One of the big factors is, I know this is a funny name, but everyone has gas. I know it's a fart joke in there somewhere. Now, gas is a gear acquisition syndrome, because when you look at other content creators and you're like, oh, this person has this particular microphone, or they got the Shure SM7B. I'm going to get that microphone, until you go to the listing and see it's almost a $400 microphone, and then you need to spend another starting at $100 for a XLR input or interface to get that audio into your computer. So you're already up to 500, let's say $600 of your hard-earned money, and you haven't even spent anything on like computer or software or video if you want to include that. It's just the audio portion is you're at $600. So actually, let's take a look at some of the options that we have here. All right. Nope, wrong scene. This one. Now, some people would balk at the price. You can't get good quality at $30. Well, yes, you can. Now, yeah, your first mic was a Tonor TC777. It's $26 on Amazon. It sounds great. Yeah, again, Fifine is a great company. We bought my daughter this particular microphone as well. Yeah, it's not the best, but it gives you decent quality for someone that's just starting out. That, for someone who's just saying, hey, I want to try this live streaming or be a content creator, and they don't want to spend hundreds or thousands of dollars. This is a good option to get them into the door of, getting started. If they start liking it and start wanting to produce better content and want to upgrade down the line, yeah, sure, you can upgrade to, was it a Rode Pod mic? That's $100. That's a USB microphone, which has great sounding. Or if you want to go a bit even higher, go to a Beacon mic, which, like I said, this is what I use. Or, if you want to go even further, get a Shure SM7B. Again, that's like $400. But there is a price point for everybody that's out there. And I would suggest, if you're just starting out, get a Fifine, however you want to say it. It's a USB microphone. All you need is empty USB port on your computer, and Bob's your uncle, as they would say over across the pond. But again, like I said, it's not the best, but it's a decent one to get your foot in the door. There are some issues with this, is that this has an I want to say it's a noise gate, but I believe that is on the Windows side of things, because every once in a while, if my daughter gets very excited playing like Overwatch or Fortnite, and it doesn't pick up the higher frequencies, but I think it's just because it just caps out. It has like a high threshold, so it's kind of like again. But for normal speaking, talking head or game live streaming, it's perfectly fine. And again, it's $30. They have ones on here. I think there's a $60 one. It's a package. There is, this one comes with the windscreen on it. Podcast mic. If we move up the next tier, it's $70 or almost $80. Why is this 2? Okay, that's weird, because I think this listing is Amazon for some odd reason, but sold by Fifine. But this one is the XLR and USB combo, and there is some other ones. I think it's the forget the company name. It's like something 2020 that has a USB port and has XLR output as well. So you can use one or the other, depending on your use case scenario. Okay, I think this is a double pack for some odd reason. But if I go to just the listing, yeah, it's $50 for the dual, the USB, and then the XLR. And again, less than $100, you can have a perfectly good sounding microphone that really all you need is a good sounding microphone or decent sound microphone, because video, I believe, and this is my personal opinion, is something that would be more akin to not late stage, but medium kind of live streams. Because a lot of people would go to a Logitech C920 type of webcams because they're cheap. They're under $100. I believe they're like this is C922 or 920E. It's a different naming convention that they have for it now, but it's a very decent webcam that's been around for a decade now, actually probably more than that. And it gives you decent results. Now, it's not going to give you the best results because especially in low light, it's going to suffer a lot with low light situations. So you want to make sure that you have a decent lighting, or if you have overhead light, it's not the best, but it's going to be good enough for someone who's starting out. And that's pretty much what we're trying to do. Is if you want to get started, is get into the content creation, live streaming kind of space, is getting started with the most low cost options that you have available to, because it's this kind of, I won't say career, but yeah, it is a career. It's hard. It's very cutthroat, and it's something that you really have to put to work in to make a name for yourself, or any kind of put yourself out there. It's not something where, oh, I'm going to start streaming and I expect to be having 1,000 people watching my streams within a month or two. That's never going to happen unless you are already in like a pro league player of Apex or League of Legends or some kind of other esports. It's really not going to happen that way to 98% of the people who start live streaming. And it's a shame that a lot of people are having that kind of mentality, that if I don't have instant success and I don't have hundreds of subscribers or donators or members or anything, whatever, that I'm going to be a complete failure. Well, I hate to break it to you, but that's not how it works. It'll take months, years of dedicated work and actually doing the actual job of being a content creator or of a live streamer. And then success is not guaranteed. You're not going to, if you're doing this for 5+ years and you don't have instant success after that time, try something different. I mean, it might not be for you, or you just come to find out after a couple months that, hey, I don't really like this anymore. It's way too much work. Even just spinning up a game and hitting go live on OBS or whatnot, and I'm not having fun anymore. Well, it's time to pack it in, because obviously it's not for everybody. So I kind of like steer a lot of people, especially if they're just starting out or just thinking about getting into this kind of creator space, is start cheap as you possibly can. If you want to add video, get a webcam. I wouldn't use your phone as a camera, because not only is it might harm your phone over long periods of time of using it, because it does, especially if you have like let's say like a latest iPhone or latest Samsung or any kind of Android device. It does heat up the phone's internals, because that CPU and that camera controller is working overtime for a long period of time. So it does heat up, and heat is a killer for any kind of electricity, or I'm not just saying electricity, but electronical devices and components. Because after a time, it'll severely shorten the lifetime of those components. I'm not to say that you can't use it. You can definitely use it for using a camera phone for your content creation to do, like, TikToks or something like that. Because many people have seen some success or great success on the short form game, and by using your camera and your phone. And a lot of people, I've come to notice that the less produced look to your content, the better results you'll get. I don't know. It's kind of in my mind, my boomer mind, whatnot. I see that as, no, I have to have it more produced as well as I can. But people have been getting a lot of success of using just their phone, or even like much older phones, and using like a lower quality camera to get better results with interactions, views, and getting their content out there. So it's kind of weird how certain avenues or certain content types would, you know, generate the audience for, especially on, different avenues like TikTok or YouTube Shorts. So it's kind of like you have to mess around and experiment and see how things fare, because if you go out into the world as a content creator and a live streamer, you're going to fail constantly. It's something that you will have to get used to a lot. Now, let's say going on to different parts of, let's say on different things of hardware. Another thing it's a nice to have. It's not mandatory to have this. I know in OBS there is a plugin for audio controls, which means, what I mean by that is by controlling your sound level for, let's say, Spotify, your music, for your just starting, or starting soon screen, or be right back, or during your entire stream. One way you can do this is using like an audio interface or audio control. Like I use the Beacon Mix Create. I've used this for a couple years, or since it's pretty much just came out, or when it came out. It's perfect for me that I can say I want my Spotify music at like 50%, and my Discord and game audio is completely two different channels. So again, this is a nice to have. This is not mandatory to have a great sounding or highly produced stream, but again, it's just nice to have. Hey Fox, how's it going? But it's kind of like, it's a nice to have where you can control your volume controls for your different audio aspects on your computer. Now, there are different options that are not as expensive. There is, what was it? I'm blanking on the name. Yes, I did ditch the fake cell phone, change things up. But it was more of like it takes the concept of the Beacon Mix Create, and I think it was like $80. So it was like less than or more than half the price of what the Beacon Mix Create is. And there's software options as well. There is Voicemeeter, but Voicemeeter is kind of not as user friendly as it could be. And the developers for that are really, they don't care. That's just my personal opinion. That's from my look at how they respond to people asking about, hey, can we change this or suggesting different things for them? And it's like, nope, this is what we made. And if you don't like it, too bad. There's the road. So it's kind of, you don't have to have this, but if you start enjoying content creation and live streaming, I would suggest looking into a little bit better way to control your audio levels. Like I said, OBS, there is a plugin to do just that. So you can look into that plugin as well. Speaking of OBS is free and is used on Windows, Mac, and Linux. So all three operating systems have the capability of using this free. Of course, in the name, it's open broadcast software. It's open source pretty much. So you can take the OBS software, and if you have the know-how, you can fork it into whatever version that you want, which Streamlabs has done just that. They have taken the OBS project, the software itself, and made their own version of it as a, if you want to use our alert system and chatbots and all sorts of other stuff that is a part of the Streamlabs ecosystem, you are kind of directed into using Streamlabs desktop. So they have done what a lot of other people have done, or I should say not a lot, but made it their own. But OBS is free. There are other options that are not free, but they do provide great solutions. One of those is XSplit. Now, XSplit has been around for decades, really since just before the dawn of OBS as well. They were kind of like the leader of the broadcasting software for the prosumer. So they do have a broadcasting software that you can use that is very similar to OBS. It offers the same bells and whistles, but a different twist on it. Now, the pricing on it is comparably reasonable to other options. Now, one of them you can buy was at the Broadcaster Premium for $60. That's a 1 year pricing. That's not too bad for $60 a year. Like it says here, it's only $5 a month. It gets rid of the watermark because, of course, if you're using the free, it kind of puts a watermark, and it has some limitations or restrictions on exactly the options that you can use within the software. The VIP support and all this other stuff like that, multi-streaming. But yeah, or your phone just screamed at your live. It's like, hey, I'm live. I didn't do that. Your phone did. But you can also, if $60 is not too, or if it's not what you want, well, you can pay more. It's $15 a month, but you're eventually paying more every year to get the same software. So usually annual plans are a great way to save some money in the long term. But yeah, you're putting more up front at the beginning. Oh, it's Tusky. I use, what do I use? I forgot what I used. Ivory for my Mastodon adventures. Now you also have a lifetime option here. And these, we've already seen how lifetime payments or how lifetime options really don't mean lifetime. It's kind of take it with a grain of salt. Again, it's $200, and you will have to. You basically want to be inside the XSplit ecosystem for a long time because you're spending $200. You want to get your money's worth. But we've seen it with what was it? Not film. It was a Filmora. And there was another recent one where they changed the it's a broadcasting software. It's not one of these I'm too knowledgeable about, but what they did is that you can pay for a lifetime, but after a couple years, all of a sudden, we're making two different products now, and those are completely different than what you paid for. So if you want to use those, you're gonna have to pay us again to, essentially pay again for the same product, but it's a different product. But again, it's the same. You see how confusing that can be, and how kind of anti-consumer it is, really. So I kind of stay away from the lifetime pricing. It is enticing, but you got to also look at how other companies have dealt this blow against the consumers and say, oh, no, it's a different product that you paid for back in the day. See, we made a change. We named it something else. So it's not essentially the same technically. So it's kind of, be weary of that. I kind of look for the month to month or to the yearly plan options, or go free, go back to OBS and just use it that way with the free version. Now, what I use is a program that is basically just Mac only. It's Ecamm Live. It's essentially the same thing. It's geared for more of a content recording, Zoom call with the what's the term? Live recording camera. Man, I'm just blanking on the names already. But it also does live streaming as well. But it's built for Mac ecosystem, Mac OS. So you're not going to find this on Windows. You're not going to find this on Linux. And it's just Mac OS. And it's something I find that I have a better time using this on the Mac because I do 2 PC streaming. So I have what you're looking at right now is from my Windows-based machine where I have all the gameplay footage, all this stuff like B-roll esque and all and the like, and also have it has the capability of bringing guest interviews, the call-in guests, I should say, that up to 10 guests at a time, as long as your bandwidth is capable and of course your hardware as well. But I find it in my workflow, I enjoy using Ecamm, and it's pretty much it's great for what I do with it. And again, it may not be for everybody, especially if you don't have a Macintosh or any kind of Mac OS based machine. And again, that's why I go back to OBS. Is like if you're again starting out and you're not sure if you're going to continue using this, use OBS. Now, if you do have a a Macintosh and you want to try out Ecamm, I do have a link that'll be in the description down below on YouTube and also throughout my websites. This Indie Creator, I have a link. I believe it's up there in the top. I gotta double check because I've been changing a lot of things around, but you do get a 14-day free trial for Ecamm. So I do have that disclaimer that I am an affiliate for Ecamm. And I've been using it over about 2 years now since I've jumped into the Mac OS ecosystem, and I love it. But again, there is a cost to this. The pricing is for the version I use is I paid a month, which I probably should go into the yearly. It's the $40 a month. It's the pro standard. You get the live interview, the virtual mic and webcam. That's what I was thinking of. Oh, words are hard. The 4K streaming, the capability. I don't stream at 4K. I stream at 1440, and I let everything else, downscale it, the stream, because I find for some odd reason YouTube, if you stream at 1440, but you view the live stream or any kind of videos I create in 1440 at 1440, and you only have a 1080p screen, you get a better resolution or a better experience than if you watched or viewed the 1080 version of it. It's weird. YouTube is weird like that. I don't know why.